सीधा शॉट फाइन लेके फील्डर के पास, शॉट फाइन लेके
मुकीम का नाम देखने को मिलेगा। अब अगर स्पिन बॉलर पाकिस्तानी टीम
In Sinhalese, Yanna means go, so let's go to the beach. Beach Yanna. The dots bill, once the required rate jumps up about 6.5, it rises quickly. It's almost up to 7.5, just like that. Beach Yanna.
Closest you'll get to the beach. Oh, this is a good set from Tikshana. Couple of singles right at the top of the over. 3 dots.
If you compared where Sri Lanka were at after 32.5 overs, 139 for 3. So in terms of runs, Zimbabwe well ahead. But as we know, that equation changes towards the death. Oh, very good. Just the 2 singles from the third. 171 for 5.
Aquasana gave us more than just clean, healthy water. It gave us more space in the fridge, more room in the recycling bin, less carbon footprint, and ultimate peace of mind. Now up to 50% off at aquasana.com.
Seven and a half, 7.53 the required rate. Madhushankar with his third over this spell, his best spell of the game. Lovely shot, lovely shot. Punch down the ground. Asita Fernando will not be able to get to it.
Oh, crisp timing from Munyonga. And it really is just a punch. It hasn't looked to do more than that. Have a look at that. The bat has literally ended up vertical to the ground.
The type of shot that just eases the nerves, gets you breathing ever so calmly. Well, in Hindi and Urdu, Bachana.
That's a good answer.
I give you the impression that I speak
right.
different languages.
You knew there were a few more questions coming your way, didn't you?
More runs. No one in the Fernando, the substitute fielder. But suddenly they've started moving again. And as we know, just as we up here keep looking at how many runs and over, what needs to be done, who needs to bowl, who's left to bowl. That's exactly what, in this instance, Sikandar Raza and especially Sikandar Raza and Munyonga will be thinking. Just knock it into gaps. They've got 7 already of 3 balls that required rate. Now they need to drag it down. They'll be caught quite wary of the fact that they got to keep moving and they cannot take too much time.
Yeah, I think the comfort that Sikandar Raza will have in this partnership is he knows the striking ability of Tony Munyonga. If anything, he'll just need to rein Tony in and say, listen, you can strike the ball for now. Let's just keep the scoreboard ticking. Keep the scoreboard ticking. Spend more time in the middle. Because at a later stage, you have the play the strokes. You have the power to clear the boundaries.
Get closer.
In less words, yes. Let's get closer. You don't want to start going for it too early and then not be there at a time where you could have taken the team across the line.
Slower ball into the pitch. The call from square leg being a wide, so Sirlanka has to re-bowl that one. Don't be a hero too soon. Let the game pan out. Deal your punch just at the right time, not all the time.
One thing Hamilton Masakadza, former captain, I played a lot of cricket with him at the Mountaineers, used to say, there's always more time than you think there is. And you don't want to realize that when you're sitting on the balcony and thinking, if I had been out there, I would have been 30 runs ahead of where we are, or of where I got out, and would have still had a hand to play to try and win the game.
Rightly so. There's a certain time of the game, probably even now, where you start thinking balls to runs, not overs to runs. And in your mind, it gives you an easier picture, a clearer picture. How you set your target up, how you set your mind up. 34 overs bowled, it's 180 for 5, and will now be deciding, or the Sri Lankan team will be deciding, which ball they'll want to continue with.
That's it with a 34th over, 180 for 5.
Yeah, the fourth umpire walks away with one of the balls that were used. In a moment we'll know from which end that particular ball was used. Janit Lienage brought into the attack. 7 overs bowled between Kamindu Mendis and Charita Sirlanka. If he can get a couple of Janit Lienage, that fifth bowler's overs will be taken care of. Run 19 required. Midon. Midoff and Midon are in the circle. You have to think that he wants to stay back of a length. He's not expressed. Again. Not the start that I wanted, because he would have been making a decision out of the box to bring Lienage in at this stage.
And faced with having to fill up some overs, it might work.
Few playing conditions been introduced. The one ball from the 35th to 50th over is one of them. Oh, that's the latest. But we're also keeping an eye out on the clock. Well, that's the ball they ditched. Bit of scarring. Early call gets him home safely.
You said a bit of scarring, and that's probably the reason why. It's probably harder than the other one.
Oh, you reckon the other ball has more scarring than
More
this? Because
scarring
towards
on
the
it.
end of the innings, you're looking for reverse swing.
Absolutely. You're looking for the ball to be slightly... I mean, look at that side of the ball. The ball doesn't look like it's done too much work. So it'll be harder and will come off the bat better.
Well, second ODI, Tino, you better have a word with the fourth umpire, Percival Cesara. Give us a smile as well, please.
Well, that's a serious look, that.
Oh, yes. He's focused on the ball. The experiment still not started off as Sirlanka would have liked. 24 off 30. Between Raza and Munyanga. Yeah. Raza reminding him. He can see third man go back, which is happening behind Munyanga. No! But the fielders crept into the deep. They was talking about the time. Teams have 1 minute between overs. They got to be ready. And then again, there's a certain time the 50th over must start before you get penalized in terms of field restrictions. Two. Very good running. It's coming to Mendes in the deep. He's quick across the grass, but they took him on and they make it easy. Sri Lanka, I think, need to keep an eye out for that clock because they don't want to be penalized in a tight situation come the end of the game today.
Yeah, at the end of the innings, when you're trying to defend a score at the last few overs, you don't need anything more to be worried and concerned about. Especially things that are within your control. 112 needed from 90. 187 for 5.
Zimbabwe have probably lost one, perhaps 2 wickets more.
Sabin, Nepal. Sabin, Nepal.
than they would have liked, but they're still very much in this game, especially with Sikandar Raza and Tony Manyonga at the crease. Chimera. Darlington, Mtambanadzio alongside me. How do you see it at this stage?
It's pretty even, I think. It can go either way. But Sri Lanka, I think, problems in this game are simpler to fix. One wicket, and then you have to imagine that Sri Lanka have taken full control of this game. It's so dependent on a big partnership now between Raza and Manyonga if Zimbabwe are to get over the line. Next man in is probably Brad Evans, who can hit a long ball, but with still another 13 overs left in the game after this, 14 overs left in the game after this. Not really his strength. You want to make sure he has 3, 4, 5 overs in which to make an impact rather than expect him to bat for 10, 12 overs. So I think Sri Lanka's problems are a lot simpler than Zimbabwe's.
No timing there from Raza. 3 dot balls at the start of this over. And the asking rate now moving up towards 8 and over. It's a tricky one for these two batters to play because on the one hand they won't want that asking rate ballooning out much further, but on the other side of the coin, as Darlington's just mentioned, it really is all about these two players at the moment and their ability to stay in, keep the board ticking over and get Zimbabwe close. Don't think Raza's timed that. It's 1 bounce for 4. There was an element of desperation in that shot really after the 3 dots. Mid-on was up in the circle, he took the chance and it's paid off.
But it is in the right slot for this kind of shot, but just didn't get the timing. Hasn't really quite got going yet. 34 from 43, strike rate 80. Not really yet seen any signs of acceleration from Sikandar Raza.
Mid-on has now gone back to long on after that last shot. For the first time today, we've seen a batter batting at that city end being a little short and turns out to be either a little bit fuller than they expected or perhaps keeps a little bit lower than they expected.
He's played it well enough. I suppose the most important thing is that he's still there from his own perspective. It just looks like it might stay down a little bit. And then we've also seen a problem with a few that have bounced considerably more than the others.
Pacey over that from Chimera, 5 runs from it, 192 for 5. Zimbabwe still well ahead of where Sri Lanka were at the same stage, but of course that doesn't take into account Sri Lanka's searing acceleration at the back end of their innings.
also do think it's worth noting that both these players are...
Two is the call straight away from Raza. And they'll get two comfortably. It really is a massive boundary out there on the onside. And that's the second time, I think, in successive overs we've seen Zimbabwe being able to run two by just bunting the ball outside the 30-yard circle.
Yeah, you've almost got to come in 10, 12 yards from the edge, and you've got to get your angles absolutely right, because it still creates a lot of big pockets in that area.
Two is the call again from Raza. No this time, says Manyonga, and that's probably the right decision. Kamindu Mendes really is like lightning.
It's the anticipation as well. I think he anticipated a lot better this time. Was on the move earlier and got into the right position a lot quicker.
You can see he's quite a way off the boundary there. In fact, he's coming into an orthodox mid-wicket inside the circle. Deep backward square leg is off the fence as well. Ungainly from Manyonga.
This makes sense here. Is the fielder is up inside the circle at mid-off on the offside, so that's where he was targeting this shot. But it's just gotten past the inside edge.
And there's the value of having that fielder in the circle. Brought in from deep mid-wicket. And keeps Manyonga on strike. Now the fielder gets pushed back to try and protect the over. Zimbabwe really are thinking, one would imagine, they need at least a boundary and over here to stay within touching distance.
On their feet in anticipation. Something exciting on the offing at Harare Sports Club. 103 to win from 79. Two really talented cricketers out there for Zimbabwe. And so the expectation in most spectators' minds is they're going to see a Raza and Tony Mnyonga special.
Raza again works into the onside again. They think about two, but this time